military refugee. I'm a person living with HIV. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a Bernie supporter. I am transgender. I'm Michael Brown. I'm David Duke. I'm a migrant worker. I'm a panhandler on the corner holding a cardboard sign. I'm a criminal. I'm an addict. I'm an ISIS fighter. I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I'm an atheist. I'm a felon. I'm someone who's been reviled. I'm anyone who's been condemned. And I'm anyone who's been judged. As most of you know, I'm Brian Hansen. And if you didn't know me, and you saw me in Walmart, and I was wearing, say a tank top with all my tattoos showing, and let's say my head was shaved, as I like to do sometimes, what would be your thoughts? Criminal, maybe? That's natural. You might think that. People think those things. Thug, perhaps. Maybe misguided, antisocial, maybe even just a little bit intimidating. Those thoughts are natural. But those thoughts are probably only based upon my exterior and what you would see at first glance. Your thoughts probably wouldn't be based upon the way I think or the way I speak. It probably wouldn't be based upon my passion for helping others to not walk down the same roads that I've walked. And they probably wouldn't be based upon the fact that I have a big heart. See, upon seeing me for the first time, you probably wouldn't guess that I'm a cat lover. Nor that I'm a gentle person. Nor that I'm a grateful guy and that I'm in love with life. See, you would only see the way I carry myself and my tattoos and my scars, and you would probably never guess that I'm the guy that cries every time Old Yeller dies. And so I'm here today to discuss with you the idea that everyone is fighting a battle that we can't see. And the best thing that we can do as UUs and as human beings is to remain open-minded and challenge those initial thoughts that we might have when we run across me at Walmart or someone like me, and challenge our own biases. And so here I am today. I'm tattooed from head to toe, literally. I have a criminal record a mile long. Not literally. But there's a backstory. There's a story to why I'm here. You don't see that story when I'm in Walmart. But I'm going to share that story with you now. And that'll help us to get an understanding of why the people are standing on the corner with the cardboard sign, and the addicts and the criminals and everyone else that I talked about. Hello. So I was born to a heroin addict father and an alcoholic mom. And they both abandoned me by the time I was 5 years old. And so, when they abandoned me when I was 5 years old, I was put into the foster care system. And my first foster home, I grew attached to my foster mom. And, because I just lost my mom. And I was with them for a couple years, and I'd grown attached until the social worker showed up at my school with my bike and my toys in the back of the car and told me I was never going back to that home. So, I'd lost 2 moms by this time. And the social worker told me that I was going to my new home, which is a home, it was my forever home. I was going to be adopted. And as you can probably imagine, I was pretty traumatized because I'd already lost 2 moms by this point. So it was really hard to get it to take. I had problems calling them mom and dad. I had my own little issues. But eventually it did start to take. And when it started to take for real. And she became mom. And little side story. So mom was a cat person. And she had all of these wild cats, stray cats, because we kind of lived out in the sticks. And she would go out there every evening around dusk and she would feed all those cats. And I would always watch from the window, but I was a kid and I was real fidgety, so I wasn't allowed to go out there because she didn't want me to scare the cats away. Until one night she told me, okay, Brian, I've been seeing you watch through the window. I'm going to let you come out tomorrow night. But she told me that I wasn't allowed to move while I'm out there because she doesn't want me to scare the cats away. So the next night rolled around and I'm ready. Okay, I know that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be totally calm and not scare these cats away because I'm going to hang out with mom. So next night rolled around and we went out there and she set the food out there and we sat down on the steps and I'm sitting right there next to mom and she starts calling, kitty, 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 kitty. So I joined in, kitty, 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 kitty. And all the cats come out. It was like a Disney movie. All these cats coming from all over the place. Man, there must have been like 30 cats. They're coming out from bushes and trees and from under cars and down from the top of the hill. And all these awesome cats that I don't normally get to be around, they're all coming. And so I'm sitting next to mom in this magical moment. I kind of push up next to her a little bit, and I'm leaning against mom, and that was our time. Me, mom, and all the cats. And man, that's one of the best memories that I have of all of my life was me, mom, and all the cats. And then not long afterwards, the social worker showed up at my school with my little bike and all my little toys in the back seat of the car, and I never got to go home to mom again. So that's 3 moms in 3 moms by the time I was 9 years old that I'd lost. Okay? Now, from there, it just went to a series of short-term foster homes, group homes, orphanages, living on the street, all those kinds of things. Now, let me tell you, if you know anything about short-term foster homes, I mean, as you can imagine, you bounce around a lot, right? And kids can be mean. Y'all probably don't know this, but kids can be kind of mean, especially when you're always the new kid in school. So, I got picked on a little bit. And I never really knew any kind of acceptance. I never knew love from the other kids, nor even in the homes, because, I mean, I kind of felt like I was just being shuffled around. So I grew up not knowing love and acceptance. And then as I grew older, on into adult years, I found myself seeking the love and acceptance. And I got involved in drugs. And with drugs comes crime. And obviously with crime comes prison. And when I started going to prison, I started to realize that I could finally get the love and acceptance that I'd been looking for by putting tattoos on me, by making sure that I was willing to do whatever my guys needed me to do. As long as I was down, then I had the love and acceptance of a family that I never had growing up. You guys understand? You don't see that in Walmart, right? Hence the tattoos, okay? That's a search for love and acceptance, okay? So I did the gang thing in prison, and I had the love and acceptance, and I'll tell you right now, I love it. It was a wonderful, wonderful feeling for me at the time. It was amazing, because I had these guys who would have done anything for me, because I was doing anything for them. But I was going a little bit too hard. And I was doing things that even they weren't comfortable with. And in 2009, they came after me, and they came real hard, and they tried to take me off the count. They tried to take me out of the game, and I've got holes in me, I've got broken bones, and so I went to a cell, and I was in there by myself to heal up. And the most powerful feeling of loneliness that you can ever imagine hit me. Because think about it. Society didn't want me around. Listen, the entire United States of America didn't want me up here. It says it on my court papers. United States of America versus Brian Hansen. Do you know how many people were mad at me? Yeah. They didn't want me around because of the way I've been acting. So not only that, but now the people in prison don't even want me around? Man, there's something wrong. Something's definitely wrong with what I'm doing and how I'm living. And yeah, that was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, just knowing that nobody wanted me around anymore. So I knew I needed to change, and with that, I committed to doing whatever it takes to change everything about me. Because it just didn't seem like anything was right by this time. So with that, and with that commitment to do whatever I had to do to change, I did that. Every class, meeting, program, course, everything available, I did it. I stayed in the education departments, whereas before I stayed either on the yard looking for trouble or I stayed in the block looking for trouble. Now I'm in the education department taking classes, taking college classes. I'm in the psychology department where I loved it because I really got into classes like good communication, healthy relationships, setting boundaries. Man, I love those classes. And it was so cool because once I started taking those classes, next thing you know, I got other guys that looked like me taking those classes. And before long, you had 20 guys tattooed head to toe in there learning about good communication skills. It was cool. So, after a couple years of my working on myself, I started going from being a real negative influence in prison to being a positive influence in prison. I've got guys sitting in those communications classes. I'm talking to guys about, what can we do to be better fathers for our kids? Rather than sitting here eating nutty bars and playing chess all day, why don't we get over there and take some classes and do something with our time to better ourselves? And man, it was making an impact. I started putting together presentations, public speaking type of presentations, where I would talk about addiction. I would talk about a positive change, motivational kinds of stuff, again, to get guys out of the block and doing something positive with their time. And I made an impact. And so altogether I did 14 years in prison, 8 years of it living like kind of a psycho. And then the last 6 years of it was what I just described to you. Me working on me and helping other guys to work on themselves. Now, let me point this out to you. So before I went to prison, I never worked a job for more than a week or two. I never had my own apartment because I never paid my own bills. I never had a car in which I maintained registration and insurance. I never maintained a bank account. Never paid bills. Never did any of those kinds of things. So, most of you saw me when I got out of prison last July, because I came here the first Sunday. And ever since then, I've been working at the same job. In fact, I started my job in the middle of July. And my very first day, I had heat stroke. I threw up at lunch and couldn't stand up any longer. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life to persist through that job. But I stayed with it. And now I've been promoted. They love me where I work. And you know what? I'm a really great worker. I'm a hard worker. And I'd never done this before. I have my own apartment. I have my own car. I work and I support myself. All things that I've never really done for myself. And these are all things that you don't see at first glance when you see me at Walmart. All you see is the tattoos and what's on the exterior. And so that also goes to the person that we see on the street corner. That also goes to the Trump supporter. That also goes to the Michael Brown and the David Duke. That also goes for everyone else that's ever been judged. I'm going to switch microphones. And so, my point is that there's a story behind every person judged. Behind every ISIS fighter, there's a story. Behind every Trump supporter, there's a story. Behind every migrant worker, every drug addict, and every panhandler, there's a story. There's a powerful, dynamic story to us all. Look, I've been a felon, I've been a criminal, I've been an addict, and I've been a bully. I've been an orphan, I've been a thug, I've been a thief, and I've been a liar. I've been a gang member, and I've been a white power racist. But notice my choice of the words I've been. Now, I am a jokester, I'm a helper, and I'm a friend. I'm a hard worker, I'm an animal lover, and as my friend Aaron says, I'm a goofball. I'm a protector, and I'm the guy that cries every time Old Yeller dies. You see, our mission as UUs, and really just as human beings, isn't to judge, but it must be to accept and celebrate the inherent worth and dignity of all people. And this can be done when we're at Walmart and we see that guy with his tattoos. Or when we're stopped at a red light on Palafox and Brent, and the person is standing there holding the cardboard sign. So let not our thoughts be, man, that guy probably just got out of prison. He's dangerous. I'm going to stay away from him. Or, man, this guy should just get a job. But rather, this person has his or her own powerful, dynamic story. Let's withhold our judgment and open ourselves to acceptance. And with that, spreading our loving energy throughout the world. That's all I have. Thanks.
Yeah, man.